If you're looking for a business show that is fun and informative, you're just in time for one. A very good evening to you. Tuned into Smart 24 TV. Thank you so much for the pleasure of your time. Of course, I'm Rana Habwe, and together with Pedson Mumbel and Sam Lanifa, you're here for the Business Today show. And of course, beginning with trending today, I will just give the floor to Hanifa to just take the lead and give us what's trending so that we get the gist immediately.
Yeah, what is trending now is the 2027 AFCON. The Lango MPs demand restoration of Akibwa Stadium. Akibwa Stadium is a stadium that is in Lira, that is Lango region, and it was previously on the list of the venues that was supposed to be on the AFCON venue, one of the stadium that is going to be a venue for the games. But now, government recently came out and said, since it's under construction, it won't be able. So they removed it. And, leaders in that region are sports people. So they came out and they're like, if government, they have only given government 7 days. If government does not rescind its decision, something is they are going to petition CAF. Here, the Lango Parliamentary Group has given government a 7-day ultimatum to restore the Akibwa Olympic Stadium as a venue for AFCON 2027. Should the government fail to meet this demand, the legislators are prepared to submit a petition to the Confederation of African Football, that is CAF, with 1 million signatures from Lango residents. This action comes in response to the government's decision to undergo phased construction on the stadium dedicated to Uganda's inaugural Olympic gold medalist, the late John Akibwa, while excluding it as a host venue for AFCON. Let's first have this story and then we get back to the details.
We've seen stadiums constructed and named Mandela National Stadium to remember foreign heroes, but we are failing to see stadiums being constructed to remember our local heroes. Akibwa was the first Uganda national gold medalist in Olympics. It's now 50 years. We've remembered others who came after him, but we failed to remember him. What remains is just a very miserable shed that is being called Akibwa Stadium as we speak right now. We've named parks such as Queen Elizabeth Parks to remember the foreign colonizers, but we are failing to name and construct a stadium to remember our people. So we're really disappointed by this, and we are saying that as the people of Lango, we are going to demand whatever was placed on the floor of Parliament, which was a commitment on the Hansard. It was a commitment to the people of Uganda. It was a commitment to CAF. It was commitment to the people of Lango. This commitment must be honored.
The issue of Akibwa is a live wire in Lango. So I want to advise my president, my chairman, not to step on that live wire. Because if that stadium, which is greatly demanded by the entire population, is not built, then his bid or any other's bid in the names of our party will find serious troubles in the waters of Lango.
The AFCON thing was now for us an opportunity for Akibwa to be built. And it was shocking for the people of Lango to see that this has again been removed. We would want to appeal to the president that on matters of infrastructure, let's pick roads, which is being used as an excuse for not constructing Akibwa Stadium. We have several as members of parliament, and the ones who are in other parliaments have advocated for government to invest in the Lamu sub-region on roads. We only have 3% of paved roads, of national roads, 3%, and it's the lowest in the country, the lowest region with the paved roads. An investment of Akibwa's nature was for us an investment journey that would augment infrastructural development in Lango sub-region. And this is a commitment that the president has made.
Well, those are linked letters from the Lango region. That is Lango Parliamentary Caucus. Those are MPs from that region. They have a document that has signatures from several members of parliament from that region and also MPs. So I see it as a division. So they're also saying if government within government itself is divided on this issue, then the president should find a solution to this. They are saying previously when they were bidding for AFCON, they used Akibwa, the late Akibwa, John Akibwa, as a legendary, since the
Akibwa is a legend, yes, that is known, and that's one of the reasons why they had to choose Akibwa Stadium.
Yes.
But now if they're saying that Akibwa Stadium is still under construction and is not ready to host the AFCON 2027, then what is the problem?
The problem is why are they removing Akibwa now?
Because it's still under construction.
But you see, Hanifa, there is a lot at play.
Yeah.
For us to even get the bid to host the AFCON 2027, it's a big time thing for Uganda. We're a developing country. Other countries bidded, but they didn't get. So we need to prove ourselves. There is a lot to prove.
Yeah.
So if there is a stadium that is being constructed and is not up to the standard, then they can just forego it, and then they will still honor the legend in another way. But not jeopardizing, because you see there is a lot at stake. The sports sector is at stake, and we have a lot to prove. And I can assure you, 4 years from now, because AFCON is 2027, yeah, we're in 2023, 4 years approximately, we should be able to have stadiums that are already constructed, that are operational right now, that just need to be revamped, and then they can host. We have the pictures there show it all. I mean, it is
beyond repair. By the time we shall reach 2027, it may not be ready.
No, those pictures show you the old stadium.
What are the 10 signatories? But now if they are
AFCON is going to reject Nachivubo Stadium. It cannot even qualify to be a training ground because it is in a center. And those people they need space that is far away from the crowds,
and that's why you're
as
saying,
long as it is up to the standard. Have you seen the stadium of Rwanda? Isn't it in the middle of the city? But it is up to the standard.
Maybe there are no people. There are not so many.
You wouldn't feel that you're in the middle of the city if you played there. At least you have seen it on Twitter. People have been fronting it around. So if the thing is not up to the standard, then them first it, they will honor the legend.
But they can still construct it. Qatar did it. Qatar did not use so much time to construct stadiums.
Does Uganda have the same infrastructure and commitment and the money and the capital?
Big.
But we are going to get money. CAF is going to give us money.
Is there any guarantee?
No, CAF gives money.
Yes, it gives money, but does it give you the same that it would give to Qatar?
Qatar was World Cup.
You cannot compare Qatar with Uganda for God's sake.
Yeah, of course, I know, I understand, but this is AFCON. We cannot build stadiums that are equal to the ones of World Cup. World Cup, there are so many countries, all countries in the world. But this is AFCON.
Yes.
They can still construct that stadium. They can quicken it in a very short time. It is up to standard.
Let's watch the space.
The good thing.
I think what we should know, we should first find out the reason as to why it was sidelined.
Yeah,
yes.
What was the reason for it?
I think, in my opinion, the MPs from that region are just acting out of anger. The fact that they're even saying that they've already gotten 10 signatories of the people that they're going to appeal to CAF because they have sidelined one stadium like this. We have 4 years to go. Oh my God.
So I've started the fights already.
No, we have. If you have fronted the stadium already, and it is one
sure they fronted with other options.
Yes,
and
if
they sidelined it, then whoever sidelined it, I think they made a decision, an informed decision on a sports basis, and considering the fact that we are hosting AFCON.
There must be a reason.
Do you know Nigeria lost the bid? Nigeria, one of the developed countries in Africa, lost the bid, and we had the bid, and we think people are just going to sit in just because they sideline one stadium and they are honoring a legend?
What if it is the Akibwa Stadium? That was the reason as to why for Uganda won this bid.
No,
Now
there are very many qualifications
historical-
that are tabled for us to win the what?
These people
It's
have
not
a
about
point.
Akibo Stadium, or it's not about Akibo the legendary. No, the thing is, there are things that those guys follow. Let me tell you, there are things
What do
those
they
guys
follow? What do they follow?
Of
We
course,
only have one
standard-
stadium that
standard
we are
stadiums.
sure, that is Namboli. It is at least we are sure. The Hoima Stadium, we are not yet sure.
But there is also another one in Fort Portal. There is also, is it also in
Nachifu,
Hoima?
but the
No,
one-
Hoima. We are still, you see, the government is still looking, the sports council is still finding
Nachivugo
out
was removed. You cannot bring Nachivugo. CAF refused Nachivugo.
whatever was removed, whatever is going to be added, it will depend on the standards.
They can
If any
still-
stadium
they
is
can
not
still
up
work
to
on
the
the
standards,
stadium.
it will be
Because
sidelined.
they already started on the work.
I think
Why
we
can't
need
they
to
finish?
see the
Why can't they finish the
infrastructure.
work?
I think we need to see the infrastructure on all these selected stadiums that have been selected, and we see what they are basing on, and we see if we can just sideline that. And if the reason why they sidelined it is informed.
We just
And
have
we
to
still have
appreciate
4
it.
more years. I believe money is going to be allocated for
And you know,
advantages.
CAF, you cannot corrupt CAF. These people can still petition CAF and things turn. You know, CAF, you can just disqualify Uganda there and then.
That's why we should be very serious.
We should be very careful
Very
with-
serious.
with-
Like she says, we have a lot to prove at this very time. So there's no need of fuming this. Why our
Yeah,
place?
but there is
there, well,
money. Our
this is
government
not
has
about-
money.
this is-
They can
this is
still
not about
They
region.
can still put money in that region. I'm not from Lango, but I support their. They used it. Why do you have to use me as a bid? And then later you change. You remove me from the list.
It is
That is
normal.
quite bad.
It is normal.
It is not normal.
It is normal.
It is not
It is
normal,
normal.
and it is not fair. It
To
is not
them,
fair to
because
them.
they are honoring the legend.
Exactly. They have to honor
They
the
have a
legend.
good reason,
They
but
have
the
a
other
good
people
reason.
that remove them might also have a good reason. So let's
they
just
don't have
see
a
what
reason.
is at play.
Why do you say the others
Yeah.
don't have good reason? You need to balance
The
the
reason,
So
the reason which was given.
See, the World Cup, I mean, AFCON is going to bring us a lot of visitors here, and like
Yes,
you said, we're going to have
definitely.
our tourism sector boosted, and very many infrastructure changes are going to take place.
Good
That
to know.
drives me to another summits that are coming to the country. Of course, Uganda is going to spend over 66 billion Uganda shillings on G77 and 9 allied summits. So this place is going to be organized at Munyonyo, and it will be on 19th. The non-allied movement at G77 plus China summits will be in January next year. Speaking during the media launch of the 2 summits, the chief organizer, Lucy Nachobe, said that Uganda will achieve both tangible and intangible benefits from her citizens. Let's have a look at this very story, and then we come back to studios.
And the people of Uganda, if by extension I may.
Uganda will spend 66 billion to make the upcoming 19th non-allied movement and G77 plus China summits a success in January next year. Speaking during the media launch of the 2 summits, the chief organizer Lucy Nachobe says that the returns on investments for these summits are many, both visible and invisible, adding that a business forum will be held as a secondary event with the goal of advancing trade, the manufacturing sector, investment promotion and tourism by promoting Uganda to visitors who may then persuade others to visit the country.
The returns are many, some are visible, some are invisible. And as I talked of the business forum. We shall be having a business forum as a side event. And in this business forum, we hope to reap benefits. We hope to promote trade. Our manufacturing entities here will have discussions with other counterparts in the region, but also outside the region. And so they hope to reap from the trade engagements they will have, investment promotion, tourism. My colleague is here to talk about how she's marketing the tourism. We shall also benefit because these people who are coming, we shall sell our country to them, and probably we shall get more tourists coming. Then there is also the socio-economic benefit for our people. Remember that those who come, when they come, they don't just come here, but they also spend. So we are likely to get some small monies from here and there, but also the social interactions.
Achobe notes that there are also socio-economic benefits for Ugandans, saying that the visitors don't just come but also spend money, as well as political benefit as a vote of confidence in our country at large.
This is a vote of confidence in our president for him to host and to be a chair for these two big events at the same time. So it is a tick on his part, but also on our country, and also the increased visibility for Uganda. Remember, we are getting 134 countries to come here. Those from the Caribbean, some don't even know what Uganda means, they've never heard about it. So this is time for us to get on the map and be more visible.
We shall be rendered the same support from the media in as far as the hosting of these two very important summits are concerned. These two summits are a vote of confidence in your country, in our country, and I want to urge us all to indeed support these efforts and provide the positive communication that we need.
Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Doreen Katime, says that the two summits presents a rare opportunity for Uganda as well as the best tourism destination in the whole world.
So when you have a summit, two summits happening in the country, you can imagine how many hotels in Entebbe and Kampala will be full, how many Airbnbs, how many guest houses will be full, the restaurants will be busy, the entertainment places. That is a big, big boost to tourism. The convention center that is being built is going to be a big boost to the tourism industry.
The Private Sector Foundation Vice Chair, Sarah Kajingo, says that ahead of the two summits, Uganda will also host the East African Business and Investment Forum and a trade exhibition that will draw private sector leaders from across the globe south to forge new partnership, explore investment opportunities, and chart a course for some more prosperous future for our nation.
I take this opportunity to unveil the East African Business and Investment Forum and Trade Exhibition, which will be held as a pre-event of the NAM and G77 summits, a pivotal event that will draw private sector leaders from across the global south to forge new partnerships, explore investment opportunities, and chart a course for a more prosperous future for our nations.
In terms of preparation for the two summits, 85% of the works at the convention center at Speak Resort Munyone being constructed for the summit have been completed. Petson Mumbere.
That's a great one that is coming to the country, the NAM allied movement, and then also the G77 countries that are coming here. Of course, like they said, the construction are on course. They have reached at 85%. If you look at the roads heading to Munyonyo Commonwealth Resort, they are all constructing all those roads. So this is all going to be like another chogam coming here. And according to them, they said the government is going to release over 40 billion and expected a supplementary budget of other 26 billion, making it 66 billion that's going to be invested in this very program. And then I asked them what is the return on investment on that, what should we expect from that? And then the organizer says there's a lot of economic benefits. Of course, when you see those visitors coming to the country, they are not just visiting the country, but they'll also spend some money. They'll also use some hotels around here. So, and a vote of confidence, because if you look at Uganda hosting the G77 and all the non-allied countries, which countries, most of them don't know even Uganda. If you look at Benin, Cape Verde, whatever, all having all these leaders in the country, that's a vote of confidence.
True, 100%. And I'm glad that already additional funding has been allocated, because I also read a report about how construction works, revamping construction works works at Speak Resort Minyonyo had slowed down because of funds.
Yeah.
But of course now they have given them more money. A supplementary budget was passed, and of course there is affirmative action that about 40 billion is going to be released specifically for this summit. And I think it's for a good cause. 100% I second it, because I cannot even imagine the magnitude of what this is going to mean for the country next year.
And also, this is something I've read here. Our president, Yoweri Museveni, will take over as the chairman of the organization from President Azerbaijan. So it is when the host country takes the chairmanship of the movement. This is something good if our president will take over until 2026. So we expect good things from his chairmanship in this thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that so many people are coming into the country,
about 120 countries, and
126 countries.
126. And then of course you can count about like 99 presidents. Oh my God.
The thing is, about 120 countries are expected to attend the NAM summit, while 134 countries will all attend the summit. Of course, Nachobe have confirmed this. Nachobe is the chief organizer of this, and then she confirmed that the government has already released the 40 billion that have been supplied into different ministries and agencies. This money have already started the construction. Like if you go to Minyonyo there, you would see the construction is going on. Even now I'm from there, I've seen all what is
I saw the construction.
Yeah, so we have to be happy for this. You know, this is a good thing to do. It's a very good thing to do. And if the president has also become the chairman of the NAM, then that's also another vote of confidence.
Yeah,
we have to appreciate that. But the problem is they're saying that we have not hyped this. You see, these leaders, these stakeholders were also calling upon you journalists to hype this, talk about this, this like he talked about.
They should give us more information.
They already give us the information.
And how they can do that is to hold another press conference and they invite lots of journalists. Yes.
But yesterday they invited at least the whole.
We need a workshop on that. So that they
exactly. They want us to
press conference
publicize.
Is not enough. We want us to publicize this.
They should also invest in publicity, by the way. Don't say
can you imagine all this
publicity
time,
has to be there.
Don't know by the, we need at least, do you know, by the time the Queen, during Chogam time, by the time the Queen arrived, everyone, even us that were still young, knew that the Queen is coming.
The Queen is coming. Yes.
And by then publicity was low, around 2006, 2000.
And there is one.
But now everything has changed.
There is one stakeholder who accepted that these summits have not been hyped.
Yeah.
They are not yet there like Chogam was before.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm saying you guys need to also invest in publicity. These things of calling journalists, you talk to them and they don't give them their. So
I thought ministries have their communication departments. Are they not doing a good job?
That's the question Nanifa is asking rhetorically. And
are they not doing what they're supposed to do? Because they're the ones supposed to hype this thing. Actually, it has not been hyped, by the way. It is happening
the Ministry of Tourism, my God.
Exactly, tourism.
Uganda Airlines.
They are not doing a good job.
Unless they want us, can you imagine Uganda Airlines should even be in the middle?
We should be advertising. Our advert should go as far as in the planes, in our planes.
Yes.
The statement
so that people are, those guys who may say I may not go to Uganda. Also
the state minister,
I have to go to Uganda.
The state minister for foreign affairs, John Paul Mulimba, was like, if Uganda, we hosted the Nyege and it was a successful.
Even the president today released a statement thanking security for a successful Nyege.
And it's been hyped by you journalists. Why are you not doing the same?
Socially, it's a social
even you
event.
journalists, you had a very good hand to publicize this thing of Nyege.
No, it's not only it is the public. It is the public.
And who take it to the public? He says it's you journalists who take Nyege to the public.
The pictures.
Every time you talk about it, and the public gets to get heightened, and then that's the same thing we should do to this two summits that are coming.
We don't even have enough pictures for the alignment. People don't even know what it means. There's so many people who don't know. The people there, I keep talking for the Mutuawans. They don't know what these things
They
are.
wouldn't even know it.
They don't understand.
If you just mentioned it.
In
fact, if someone heard that they are spending 66 billion, they would not say that it's for a good cause. In fact, one would just jump on Twitter and they troll the government, and they would be right because they don't have information. Mindsets change every day. You preach about it. What about it?
Then that's why I'm saying we should give them information. You who are there on the media launch, give the public information. That's what they were requesting from us.
Did they give you enough information to give to people?
I think no.
At least you have
But we need to make more research.
But I remember the MPs complaining about the venue, the venue Munyonyo.
The venue is the construction is on course, and they're saying that the completion has hit 87% at the moment. Even today I was there, but the problem is, are we going to reach that time when all these things are done? And will they do standard work?
Standard work.
You get so they're on speed. Yeah? If you see, they work day and night. You can imagine. And I have a feeling. I was in the car with my friend. I was telling me that you see these guys are doing all these constructions. Soon after these visitors have gone back, you're going to see those constructions again. Those whatever they're constructing.
So what you're saying is that
going into a ramshackle form that how they were before.
And you know where it is being
just short term.
Next to a lake, and you never know, the rains could still be around during January and the place floods.
There's also that possibility.
Yes, we are worried of all those things, but we pray, we hope it is a success, and we are not.
And this is one thing that is going also to help. Like if you can talk, you've just seen the PS from the ministry. PS, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, was saying, during Katime, saying it's also going to boost our tourism sector in another way, and also selling the country to those countries that didn't know about Uganda. If you know Cape Verde.
Let me give you an example that is really doing well as we head for the break, because our time is well spent for the first half.
Okay.
Rwanda is doing exceptionally well.
As in?
We are, in regards to tourism, what do they have to market? My God, we have the best chimpanzees. We are the part of Africa, like they named us. But Rwanda has invested a lot in their tourism. It is even yet to surpass South Africa, because South Africa is the one that has been ranked.
Is it because they went to Arsenal and wrote Visit Rwanda? Could that be?
There is so much more. Recently, didn't you see a trending video of Trevor Noah, advertising on why people should visit Rwanda?
Then you should pick a list.
No, actually, no.
Even
talking about South Africa. He was actually talking about South Africa. But my point is, what the deliberate actions that governments are taking to publicize their countries. Explore Uganda, we have seen it, but is it doing enough?
You know, Rwanda, to take up that thing, they also started from their city being the cleanest in Africa. Actually, it takes up. I was shocked
for us. Can we compete there?
Their city is one of these. When it rains, what? Here.
When it rains here.
You guys, let's take a short break. We're going to come back with more. We still have more in regards to Unox monopoly, and we have a story in regards to startup ecosystems. So you wouldn't want, to miss this. Just stay tuned and we come back.
Smart 24, driving business.
Era tutukanga oba omuntu nti ni gasita ndala mukaaga 5 sita isatu ash onige yes
nga bakubuza macha
nga bamubuza macha code nga tumukobata mu nsanvu bino olumalirizawo ngata amwe sente dali kuwayo kumbaga ya mwenemu sawa yeneyo nga kyabazinga amwebaza nga tweyongere kai tujja mu kyalo ekindi
ekikoba embaga olunawa luti nga mwira
tulija kumala kai tweyongere emyezi mukaaga nga tukasomesa abantu momope
baba embaga ya mwenemu eriyo nga 18 kai emyezi omukaaga gyoli kwongeramu ojaji
obidine bya momope abantu yembite yona bandeta momo ono ne bibali kumpaka ne bya momope abidi tyama kupichipichi ojo bisomesa
muleke musoni we tyamaja
baba tuka bulungi
simbule embalasi asumulude
momo nyabo.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
The United Arab Emirates has indeed been actively championing its efforts towards a clean energy transition with ambitious goals aimed at producing 100% green energy by 2050. Here are some of the key points highlighting the UAE's commitment to clean energy. The UAE has made significant investments
Smart 24, driving business.
You're still watching Business Today, and of course, if you just joined us, you're in for the second half, and we are into UNOC's monopoly, the talk, of the nation, what has been trending for the last, I think, 3 weeks, and finally, Parliament passed the bill, and I think, let me give Hanifa the mantle to just take us through, and then we call the story, and then we give it more insight.
Thank you. Yesterday, Parliament approved the Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023, granting UNOC exclusive rights to import all petroleum products into Uganda. This move aims to fulfill the country's obligation outlined in relevant petroleum agreements and joint operating agents. Honorable Emmanuel Otala, the chairperson of the Natural Resources Committee, emphasized that this decision is intended to address the escalating fuel prices in the country by placing the government in control. He further noted that the agreement spans 5 years, with the provision for reversal if UNOC fails to meet expectations. Wow.
Let's have a look at this very story, then we come back to Student Rona will give us what she's thinking about the monopoly, and also give us what you think about the same story.
Yeah.
Most of the people in opposition could not appreciate that we've been losing a lot of money to Kenyan middlemen at 3 different layers. The Ugandan oil marketing companies buy from the 3rd layer of middlemen in Kenya. So people could not appreciate that by empowering UNOC to procure for us all our petroleum products that we need in this country, we were eliminating those middlemen. All those middlemen put a markup on the prices. At every level, someone is getting profit. So, just by eliminating 2 levels of middlemen, we are going to do a lot of savings. But most importantly is the fact that we are developing the capacity of our own Uganda National Oil Company. You see, very soon we are going to get our own oil out of the ground, 2025, May 2025. That's according to the roadmap. So if we don't build the capacity of UNOC to begin trading at that level, at that international level, what is going to happen when we begin to produce our oil? We would really have an amateur in that industry, and definitely we would not benefit as a country. UNOC represents the commercial arm of our oil and gas development in Uganda, and I think it was the right thing to do to give them this capacity. Now, as we recommended, the ultimate is for UNOC to deal directly with the oil refineries. Right now, because we don't have capacity, in terms of financial muscle, that is why we are putting Vitol behind the scenes to provide the financial muscle.
Hanifa, you compared the story, but of course I wanted Rona to first give us her insight of the same story, because she's been covering oil and gas for all that long time. What do you think about the monopoly of UNOC in the oil sector at the moment?
First of all, the president made a wise decision. I only don't agree with him that he didn't know, because he's just lying to us. Fuel, of course, is an integral and a very important commodity for any economy. True. It supports aeroplanes, supports military operations, it supports transport, and any economy. Backbone. Yes, and any economy. Its strategic focus should be on its viability. Is it available? We saw what happened, in the middle of last year. Yeah. Even this year, fuel prices. We didn't know what was at play. Now the middleman is off. UNOC has now given the contract to Vito. He's going to, contract and get all the fuel from wherever they get it from. Is it Saudi Aramco? Is it Saudi Arabia? Wherever they get it from the Gulf, and then bring it here. Now we are, of course, a landlocked country. We cannot access the sea where the vessels would pass. So the middleman has been removed. Yes. Do we want to frustrate the middleman? Because we are in business. That is something that UNOC should also look at. The only problem with all this is one. UNOC is not currently capital intensive. Right now it needs about $100 million at least for starters, to order with Vito.
Yeah, of course they are going to finance it.
So from your own information, you think UNOC is not ready to
it is not, but of course government is not going to support it. So yes, it's okay, because Kenya started all this. There was an open tender system before where you could, easily buy fuel. But when, in March 2023, when it ditched that open tender system and it went into a G2G agreement to supply to East African countries, to their governments. And that's why I don't understand, because if it went into a G2G agreement, that means someone from Kenya in the Ministry of Energy came to Uganda and signed an agreement with Uganda that they're going to do that. So I expect people to be surprised because that happened. You get? If they agree to a G2G agreement, who signed on behalf of Uganda? Why are they surprised? The only good thing about this is that it has happened within the same period of year when Kenya came public with it in March 2023 and ditched, and we said let's deal with government to government, get the fuel from the Gulf, and then supply it straight to countries. That's why I just agree that now in November 2023 they have passed the bill. The monopoly has been given to UNOC. Now what UNOC has now to do is to look for capital, and of course UNOC is a government passed status, so who is funding it? It's got to be government.
Yeah, I like the fact that this whole bill came about because the fuel prices were getting high, and the concerns, they kept asking the Minister of Energy, please come and explain. We want an explanation. I think she's a very hardworking. I really commend her for the good job, and she sat in the ministry. Yeah, Ruth Nakara. In every ministry they put her, she goes to the dot. So I think in trying to look for a solution for these fuel prices, she went down and understood all those. She got to know that the middlemen were cheating us. They were cheating government.
For a barrel for a ton that was being sold at that would be sold to us on a normal price at $98, they were selling us at 118 minimally. Now imagine the time when we were complaining of fuel around June, when we saw a liter of diesel and petrol about 6,000, it went even 7K. Almost, I think even 12,000 and
So all this was a result of middlemen.
Yes, the middlemen, and of course the fact that we're a landlocked country, we could not access the fuel. All those things were at play. And so the supply chain was was muddy, it was murky, it was dismantled, and everything was at play. So now the question that we have to ask ourselves is, in case there is any shortage from the company Vito, where do we turn to? We have not expected our fuel. We are all looking at 2025. Remember, it is not even a guarantee. It is what everyone is talking about. So we don't want to annoy our neighbors.
Okay.
By the way.
That's what.
Because if there is any shortage, they have in bulk. Even though they are not annoying producing, but they have in bulk. They are on the sea. We are not. We are landlocked.
As we are landlocked.
So the only difference, yeah. So the advantage is that Vito has lower premiums than what Kenya had. So the premiums of Vito are not as what Kenya had. So at least you should expect the prices of fuel with this development to go down. That's what Ugandans want.
Yes,
and I think
exactly.
that is the argument.
Yeah, exactly. That is the argument.
I love the fact that Ugandan journalists are getting serious into the oil and gas sector. You see, we shouldn't remain behind. We need to teach the public. People have to know from us, but also you people, you have to make research in that. We shouldn't, of course, mislead the people who are following us. I think, Rona, you did something in regard to startup ecosystem policy that is coming up, and remember, we're also heading into Innovation Week, and think this startup policy is one of the things 100%. That we should read and get to understand.
100%.
If you can give us more details about that and the story.
Okay, yeah, so maybe just give you a glimpse. I was really shocked that Uganda doesn't have a startup policy. I was shocked they're just going to start it up, and maybe just a preamble of this story is that effective by the end of this year or early next year, we should expect a draft of a national startup policy. The aim or the main goal or the objective of this is to help startups to maneuver everything that they are suffering from, because we know they have had it rough to break even.
True.
So it should help. With existing policies, they have not worked. So it should just be like a catalyst for job creation, economic growth, and returns on investment for all these people that have invested. But maybe to just read this to you, breaking new ground, PSFU and the MasterCard Foundation are collaboratively shaping Uganda's entrepreneurial future, and together they are gearing up to reveal the game-changing national startup policy set to revolutionize the startup scene. Meticulously coordinated under the Ministry of Trade's National Technical Working Group, this strategic initiative is poised to foster innovation, economic growth and job creation, anticipated by the end of year or even sooner. Stay tuned as we unravel the impact of this transformative leap. At the National Science Week exhibition, the president criticized taxing innovators, expressing a lack of awareness from innovators themselves. This gap in communication highlights the need for a national startup policy currently in development through the collaboration between the Private Sector Foundation Uganda and the MasterCard Foundation. This is set to address the constraints in Uganda's startup ecosystem, with a policy aiming to be a catalyst for innovation, economic growth, and the job creation coordinated under the National Technical Working Group on Startup Policy established by the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives.
Become a policy through a cabinet resolution or approval. And this was again informed by what we call a regulatory impact assessment. This assessment was undertaken because we know we have a lot of laws in this country. We have laws, we have policies around MSMEs, we have something around innovation. But we wanted to see, are there unique challenges, are there unique problems to startups? Things around low innovation and unsustained growth, financing, that do not necessarily, are not being addressed by the current regulatory environment or the laws that we have in place. And so this policy is coming to precisely address those challenges, to really open up opportunities so that we are seeing more sustained growth, we are seeing more startups, but the kind of startups that attract financing, create a lot of work opportunities, but also become those what they're calling unicorns, become together the technical working group on the startup policy to have a draft out by, say, end of this year. And if we continue receiving the support we've been receiving with the ecosystem partners, with the development actors, we hope to have this policy adopted in the course of next year.
Revenue and support in so many areas. So we do appreciate the President's pronouncement to support startups. It's true because a number of them take even up to 10 years to break even. You can find a startup that is employing 2,000 people when they have not even broken even, but they are still proving a concept. So it is important to have a good incentive regime that supports them as they move along this journey of growing enterprises from one level to the other. And as an institution, as private sector foundation, trade, industry and cooperative, and cabinet secretariat, that we managed to work on to develop a regulatory impact assessment that has now guided us to develop a policy. So we are on the journey of developing the first ever national startup policy for Uganda. On African continent, we are not looking very well because a number of our peers in the region, Kenya, Rwanda, even DRC, South Africa, also have these policies and laws in place, and these have contributed a lot to attracting capital to the entrepreneurs.
Despite Uganda's current rank of the 119th out of 132 countries in the Global Innovation Index, experts foresee a transformative shift with the impending national startup policy. Envisioned as a comprehensive framework, this policy is expected to lay out strategies, regulations, and support mechanisms crucial for fostering startup growth. By addressing challenges and bottlenecks faced by startups, the policy aims to be a catalyst to enhance synergies between the development partners, government, and the startup themselves.
Indices, they are looking at so many things that lead to, innovation. It could just itself be on the level of product development and maybe the speed to that. It could be on a level of adaptation of those products. We know that Uganda is not in deficit of ideas or products or innovations, but the level of adoption, the level of impact, the level of influence is what determines that. So the fact that we do not yet have a fully supported ecosystem, that itself limits level of innovation. For example, right now it is being driven by private actors like innovation hubs, like individuals, so with less of government support, but with maybe policies coming into place.
As Uganda anticipates the unveiling of the national startup policy, a new era in entrepreneurship is on the horizon. The collaborative initiatives of PSF and the MasterCard Foundation signal a strategic leap towards fostering innovation, economic growth, and job creation. Stay tuned for the transformative impact set to shape a vibrant future for Uganda's burgeoning startup ecosystem.
Now, it's about your ecosystem startup.
Yeah, so that story just taught me something that you never know what until you find out. I didn't know that Uganda doesn't have a startup policy. It is a shame.
We are not even thinking about it, by the way.
Can you imagine the reason why SMEs, you people cry every day, SMEs, they are not growing. How can they grow without a policy?
So when did you get independence? So all that long way, we didn't have that.
They are just starting to formalize it. They are starting to formalize it, and we should expect a policy, just like that story says, we should expect a draft policy by the end of this year or early next year. And so, of course, that policy is meant, among other things, to amplify or be a catalyst for startup, growth, job creation, economic growth, because we know 70% of the informal sector are the ones that are trading in that side, and the policies are not harmonized.
Rona, from your own understanding of this policy, how do you think this policy is going to help the startups to grow? You see, they have lots and sorts of problems. They have problems with capital. They have, they didn't have the policy. Now the policy is back on ground. We are starting talking about it. So after formulating it and after implementing it, how do you think it's going to help these startups to grow?
Definitely it would. I mean, look, take an example of other countries, our neighbors. Kenya has it, Tanzania has it, it's only us that don't have it. And I want you to look at let's not even look at our neighboring countries. I want you to look at the SME space if you want to. Let me also give you a question to answer so that you can know. I want you to look at the SME space in Tunisia. It is very vibrant, and the SMEs or even MSMEs, it is very vibrant, and they're in Africa, and they have thrived because they have a startup policy. Did you know that Safe Border is a startup?
It's a startup, yeah.
Yes, and all those are under innovation. There's another one called Innovex that helps with solar and the like. There is Newman's, all the other startups, and you know they struggle and struggle. You see, it takes a lot of time for them to even break even. 20 years and they're still employing about 200 people, and they have not even break. They are still trying to prove a concept that yes, this is why I started and I want to remain in business. So if just like they passed the anti-homosexuality law, everyone knows that they're not supposed to have intercourse with their what?
Just to do those things.
To have intercourse with a person of the same sex. Yeah. So a law or a policy improves governance, helps, it catalyzes trade and investment, helps in growth, and of course, at the end of the day, helps the economy grow, because there is something that informs it. Things don't just happen.
Help to find market for these startups.
Definitely, definitely.
Because all along they have not been having market, and by the way, they have been sidelined here in countries. Sometimes, I was talking to the manager operations and Makere Innovation Hub, and he was like, Mr. Lule was like, even they are also facing issues of taxation. Even when you see, when a startup comes up, he has not even started making marketing, and then taxation comes in. You get? And that has been another biggest problem that is hindering them. And I think this is one of the issues that they wish to raise during the Innovation Week that is coming. So
the lack of policy in the country, it has produced Ponzi schemes. They come up and they start up. They encourage you. These guys are paying. They even pay taxes. They encourage you. They even show you they are formal. But there is no policy. These guys are just going to wake up one day and then disappear.
And you also ask the third question, maybe to give you another answer. A policy like that, a startup policy, would help development partners, because we know most of these policies are supported by international funders, NABEL, GIZ, you know what they're doing in energy, World Bank, even all these people, UNDP, all these that are funding, MasterCard Foundation, they are doing great work in regards to startups. So a policy helps development partners get interested in an ecosystem of startups, to want to invest more and help innovators, because the more you invest, that is job creation, and then if jobs are created, then people are not going to be crying on the internet every day about.
Let me hope this policy, like you said, is going to harness the entire ecosystem, and we need to take it up, because for sure these startups have been facing it rough for the last time. This policy has not been there. That's what I am thinking.
Not only the startups, even Ugandans. These Ugandans fall victims of these startup things. They start, and then after they disappear. You know, cheating Ugandans in the process, which is quite.
So I mean, all these Ponzi schemes have been taking advantage of this, because there's no policy that is guiding, and then they just start their own thing there, just do chicken one, and then start eating people's money after.
Why wouldn't they?
Lack of policy.
So we do believe that a startup policy, and of course they have also accelerated. This is the first stage that they have asked them to come up with it, because they want it ASAP. Like they really need it to be fast with it because of what it is going to do. So they are on pressure to come up with it, and I think next year there should be an operational one, because Cabinet approved it. And of course, by the way, this is not just by PSFP and MasterCard. Ministry of Trade has a technical workshop that is gearing with this movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of the show. Do you know the business Leroy is coming? He says it's called what? Agafam Yobsubuzi.
Why are you stuck in the past? This Agafam Yobsubuzi is up next with Brian Alvis Mugera, and of course, thank you so much for having, made time for this program. Thank you. And of course, follow us on our social media platforms and give us your views on what you think, and you can also, suggest a topic, or even give us something that you would love us to talk about on this show. We are here to inform you, and that's all we're here to do. As always, I'm Rana Habwe, together with Samla Hanifa, Pedson Mumbele, the man from Kasese, and
bye.
And so good evening.
So you know,